Good afternoon and welcome to HCCTV's Critics' Choice. Thank you for joining us on our inaugural first ever episode. My name is Randee Ramsey and I'm the Executive Director of Southwest Alternate Media Project and of HCC Film Faculty. Joining me today is Pete Vonder Haar, Houston Press film critic and an author of a book series called Clarke and Clarke Mysteries. We are so excited, Peter, to be up here today at Rooftop Cinema Club for our first episode, and we're going to talk about films that are out in the theater now, award contenders, some streaming, and maybe a few independent gems that nobody's heard of yet. I will also say that if you have not been to Rooftop Cinema Club, come and enjoy it. It's like going to a movie at the best beach party you've ever been to. I come with my kids and it's a lot of fun, and with the holiday season coming up, I know that they have several things programmed like Home Alone.
Like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Die Hard. Which we can argue about whether that's a Christmas movie or not later. Well, I'm super excited to be hosting this with you. I know we've talked on The Daily Show a couple of times, but I get to be like IRL and talk to you about movies in real time without Melanie, the producer, going like, you have to stop now because the show's over, you have to stop now.
I know, she's so annoying. Well, it's great collaborating with you and being here, Randee. I'm very much looking forward to our future collaborations and continuing up here on Rooftop. I think it'll be great. So here on the show, we are going to be talking about new movies, including some independent releases. We're also going to be discussing streaming options for our viewers. There's going to be hits and misses along the way, just like always, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing it, and I think it should be pretty informative.
Yeah.
I hope.
And I think like we don't always like the same thing, so that's always good. He says no, like because he's had a thought about a few of my opinions. That's fine. What is it my mother used to say? Some people, all their taste is in their mouth. But I don't think
Joan
that
Crawford
about you.
said that. No,
Joan
thank
Crawford
you.
did probably say that, actually. My mother did love Joan Crawford.
I hope she only loved that part of Joan Crawford and
yeah, she was very
not
okay
the other aspects of motherhood for Joan Crawford.
Well, she really loved the drinking part.
Oh.
So there was that.
Wow.
Anyway, it's award season. Speaking of award-winning movies.
Yes, it is.
That we should all love. So let's get started. But before we get into awards, let's talk about the blockbuster, which is like the elephant in the room, the box office. The box office has been, let's be honest, not great.
Yeah, not great, Bob. Yeah, it's been pretty dismal. This last weekend was the lowest performing Halloween box office weekend in 31 years. And you can attribute that to Halloween was on a Friday. I mean, the weather was pretty nice, but you also have to kind of look at the quality of what's out there in the theaters. And the top movie for last weekend was actually a 3-week-old movie, Black Phone 2. You had Regretting You was, I think, one of the first ones that nobody's really talking about. And then you had Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is getting all this preemptive award show buzz for Jeremy Allen White and for being another one of these biopics, and it dropped 60% almost in its second week. So one of the highest grossing movies this last weekend was a reissue of Back to the Future. I think that came in number 4. So we're obviously going to see some differences as we push forward, and we got some big marquee movies coming out in the next month and a half, some awards contenders. So I think hopefully that'll goose it up a little bit. But yeah, to the last few weeks, it's not been great.
I just think overall, when we're talking about box office and we're talking about the money, when we're seeing nothing but reruns, remakes, reissues of older films, like I took my kids to see Back to the Future because I wanted them to see it in a movie theater. Because what a great experience.
Sure.
I am a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, and I didn't make it out to see the biopic yet. And I hate that because I really intended to, but in a country that has an epidemic of loneliness, these kind of touchstone experiences that we get to share together, I really am longing for that. So I'm hoping that some of these new films coming out will push the limit and get us back on track.
Well, and the ironic thing about the Springsteen movie is it's also about loneliness, basically, and about depression. And I don't know how great of a touchstone that is for audiences to go, life's kind of depressing, I'm going to go watch a movie about a guy going through depression. Yeah, and I don't know. They may have miscalculated on that one.
Well,
But
I think that but it'll probably get a nomination.
I'm sure it will.
Let's talk about the preview for award season, because there's been a lot of buzz about some films, and some of them haven't even come out yet.
I mean, the ones you're talking about that have come out was something like Sinners, two of my favorites, Sinners and Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. And I think those are kind of early front runners for like Best Picture, probably Best Director, at least for Paul Thomas Anderson. The problem that I see it for Sinners is horror movies just don't win Best Picture.
I mean, but let's be honest, it is a master class in filmmaking.
It's a fantastic movie, and if there was any, logic to what the Academy is doing, then you would probably be seeing a Best Picture nomination for it, or a Best Picture win even in the odds, but I just don't see that happening. To what you were saying about movies that haven't come out, obviously we've got some of the ones that are getting buzz that, always kind of do. The Wicked for Good, the Wicked sequel, the new Amazon, Fire and Ash, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Sorry, Bezos on the brain. And then there's some smaller films like Sentimental Value, which was Joachim Trier's golden whatever winner at the Cannes. We were also talking about Hamnet, which nobody's really gotten a chance to see yet.
Nobody has seen yet. I don't understand how it's getting award buzz when nobody's seen it yet.
Enough advanced critics have seen it that they start seeding the articles and getting the buzz out there for it.
All right, but we do have to get around to the award contenders.
Yes, we do.
So let's talk about award contenders.
All right, we can talk about some. There haven't been, to my mind, a lot that have hit theaters yet. Two of the ones that we're talking about so far have been Ryan Coogler's Sinners and One Battle After Another by Paul Thomas Anderson. I think those they're two of my favorites of the year, and I think they've also kind of been elevated in the discussion. I honestly don't see Sinners. I can see it getting nominated for Best Picture, but I don't see it winning because horror doesn't win, even though, as you said, it's a masterclass of a film.
It is a masterclass in filmmaking, and it's a shame and a sin if it does not get an award.
Yeah, it's so much more than just a vampire movie, but it's got so much to say. I mean, we could talk about that for not just a segment, but what are some ones that you've seen or have heard of?
Jay Kelly, I think, has been getting some interesting Oscar buzz, and I know that there have been mixed reviews about it. I was lucky enough to grab a screener of it. I'm not going to say from whom. And it is sentimental, but in a way it reminded me of Sullivan's Travels. We're in a world right now where things aren't great, so a little introspective sentimentality might not be a bad thing.
Sure.
No. I don't know. I mean, the other thing to think about is when we were talking about the Springsteen film,
Deliver Me From Nowhere.
Deliver Me From Nowhere,
Yep.
which I wanted to love and which did not do well at the box office.
Nope.
And is getting some award buzz. But there's also A24's film, which is just about to come out, Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme, yeah. Timothée Chalamet, once again, about a ping pong player in 1950s New York. You can always count on Josh Safdie to bring the weird.
And wonderful.
And wonderful, sure.
And wonderful.
But that's just one of many that we haven't seen yet. There's, one that came down from Cannes, Sentimental Value by Joachim Trier. Got a lot of buzz coming out of that, but it's another one that I think, and a problem you're going to see with a lot of these, they're going to get a really brief theatrical run, and then they're going to disappear. And people are going to, when the awards are not, the nominations are announced, they're going to go, I never heard of that movie. And it's like, well.
Well, and I think I'm just going to say, I think that Deliver Me From Nowhere will do really well streaming.
Sure.
Because I think right now they put out a movie at a depressing time about depression.
Yeah, that's
and I don't
exactly
know, I mean, it would not kill us to get a little comedy.
No, it wouldn't at all. And I think, to what you're saying about that, I mean, it's about, I love the Nebraska album.
Yeah.
But seeing 2 hours of Jeremy Allen White brooding in hotel rooms or brooding in, the waterfront or brooding in a bar, it's a lot to deal with, so.
Well, I feel like we're on a roll, and we
Okay.
could certainly go on about Jeremy Allen White brooding, which is just generally what he does. Just
Pretty much.
angry young man.
It's his
But
thing.
we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back. And we're going to talk about some independent gems that
Yes.
maybe nobody's ever heard of.
over 50 years, HCC has been here for you. Affordable, accessible, focused on your success. This is your college, growing, evolving, expanding with you. More bachelor's degrees, stronger workforce training, online learning with global reach. A new name, the same mission, bigger vision. Houston City College, local focus, global reach. Register now at hccs.edu.
Welcome back to Critics' Choice. We've been talking about award season with the movies, and a lot of times we'll see movies that come from lesser known sources or more underappreciated little gems, and others that maybe you haven't heard of at all. And I was going to ask you, Randee, if there's any coming up that maybe you thought deserved a little wider notice.
I'm pretty excited about Black Bag, which I read about, wanted to see, was excited about, and then promptly forgot what it was about because menopause is real. But any Fassbender film, I mean, like, how can we go wrong?
How about, yeah, you could get together with my wife on that. For me, it's for Cate Blanchett. Like, in that movie, she's seductive and she's terrifying, often in the same scene. So I guess what I'm saying is, I would kill for her as well. Much like Fassbender.
It's giving you, what was the movie with the ice pick?
With the ice pick?
Oh,
Basic
God, Glenn,
Instinct?
Yes. Is it giving you Basic Instincts vibe? Because she was Glenn Close in that was both sexy and terrifying.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of, like,
No,
it was much more overt with with Sharon Stone, but
yeah,
I'm Cate Blanchett is the Ice Queen, and I'm here for it.
Look. Okay, well, let me ask you about Sorry Baby.
Haven't heard. I mean, I've heard the buzz on it, but I haven't. Again, it's one I haven't seen as well, so I don't really have a lot to offer on that one.
And what's frustrating me is that we only have one art house cinema in town. It's the River Oaks. So if it's not programmed at the River Oaks, we don't see it until it's on streaming. Mm-hmm. And then so little funding is put into marketing these independent features that then, it gets a little bit of a bump from a festival appearance that makes you go, oh yeah, I want to see that. And then you just never get a chance.
Well, and on the flip side of that, you'll have these movies that make a big splash at festivals a year ago, and finally, through acquisition deals and everything else, they finally get to the screen. But any buzz that they've had, like one I've been thinking of that I really would wish it was getting more love, is a movie called EFUS, which is a baseball film, and it's very down to earth. It's about two baseball teams, grown men, playing their last game on this field that's about to be plowed over for development. And it won some prize at South by Southwest in 2024. It had a weekend release in March, and then it just completely disappeared. But it's a really heartwarming movie. It's got great performances. It's got some good cameos. Nothing. Like, I can tell from your expression, you haven't heard of it either.
I have not heard of it, and I am a baseball fan. I'm I'm like a diehard loser baseball fan, like Mets. I've been a Mets fan since I was born.
Sorry.
I mean, yes, I know. I'm sorry too, but these things happen. I was thinking about Charlie Bird, which is at the Houston Cinema Arts Festival this month, but it's a great film about, a music therapist in a children's hospital, and it's locally filmed and local and great, and it's going to get 5 minutes, and then it'll stream a year and a half from now, and we'll never hear of it again, and that's so frustrating.
I mean, it's kind of the double-edged sword. On one hand, you have filmmakers who had resources they've never had before, and they can film on a shoestring, or you can, like your Danny Boyle, you just film an entire movie on iPhones. But for a lower budget production, these people the filmmakers are able to do things that they never were able to do even 15 years ago. But there's so much, and it's so hard to keep track of. And to your point, there is no marketing for it. Nobody's gonna get behind these unknown filmmakers or these smaller productions to get them out in front of people. So that's where we stand.
And it's not an independent film. So hear me out. But The Kiss of the Spider Woman, which they're going to blame the bad box office on J-Lo. They're going to say it's her fault. But, it's a really beautiful film, and it's a very popular musical, and it had I am a musical fan. I started out in theater. I love music. I've seen the musical, loved it. I am exactly the audience, like middle-aged, middle-class lady. I saw no advertising for it at all. So like, how do you expect anything to do anything in the box office if nobody cuts through the noise or even bothers to promote it?
Well, you also, in that case, you're piggybacking on a really great movie that came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
Kiss the Spider-Woman, Raul Julia.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got a long road to hoe to try and get people interested in an older property like that. But anywho,
we're just mad about people underfunding things. Go ahead, hit me with some of your indie favorites besides EFIS, because apparently you have more than I do.
I mean, EFIS is definitely one that's on the top there. We talked a little bit earlier about one called Sentimental Journey, which it's the only person you're going to have heard of in it is Stellan Skarsgård, because it's a Norwegian film, but it's about a director who decides to get back together with his estranged daughters and make basically an autobiographical film, including them in it. And so there's really no. The Europeans do this so much better than we do. There's no car explosions. There's no planet-threatening monsters. It's just about a family, about the internal struggles they have, and how they come to grips with those and try to reconcile. And it's not always messy, and it's not always neat. It's sometimes messy, and that's what life is. And I wish those kind of movies got more love in the United States, because I think if we had something that was more grounded along those lines, to what you were saying earlier about having a movie, we live in kind of depressing times. Maybe it would be nice to have a movie that sort of speaks to people without, hammering them over the head with their mental illness.
Well, or, that was a happy ending without feeling like you're watching a Hallmark movie.
Well, that too.
I mean, there's some great old films that were a good time to watch, and you left and you didn't feel like I would like to kill myself now, because every once in a while these like small independent movies, I leave and I'm like, okay, it's time to die. Which is not what they're going for. They want us to be thoughtful and introspective and all of that. So anything else that you've seen come out that you're like, oh, this one's worth watching?
I don't know how worth watching it is. It's opening this weekend. It's Nuremberg. It's the movie with Russell Crowe as Hermann Goering and Rami Malek as an army psychiatrist who is brought in to sort of evaluate the Nazis' ability to stand trial and whether or not, and I think I was very excited about it when I heard about it, because the advance word on Russell Crowe's performance was that he just knocked it out of the park, and to an extent he does, but it's shot. The guy who directed it, it's the same guy who did Independence Day, Resurgence, and one of the Marvel Spider-Man animated movies, and it feels like it. Like it's got all these sort of, big dramatic moments that are not really, you don't think about when you think about drama in a courtroom and you think about something that happens, but it's all these people rushing in out of the rain. I just found something, or the head of the jail saying, "Welcome to Nuremberg." Like, he never said that to the Nazis. They just put them in the cells. I mean, it's played up for bombast. It's played up for big audiences. I don't know. I was disappointed in it.
So it's like a Jim Jarmusch film shot like
a Marvel,
Born Identity,
like a Marvel movie. Yeah, basically.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
It's not good. I mean, I think, again, you're going to see nominations for Russell Crowe. I guarantee it. You'll probably see a Best Picture for it. Long shot from Malek, but again, you can't build a solid movie on just one good performance and ignore everything else that goes into it. So, in my opinion,
I was just thinking about like A Few Good Men, if they had like put some fighter pilot scenes in there. Like, it just doesn't.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, why? And I tell my students all the time, like, honestly, do you need it to tell the story? Well, it's cool. It's a really cool shot. Okay.
Does it advance the narrative? That kind of thing, yeah.
Does it deepen my understanding of the character or advance the narrative?
Well, and the bad thing in Nuremberg is we know the reason they're there. We see footage of the camps. Like, it's not pretty. And if they had relied on that, and I maybe sort of held a mirror up to what's going on in society now, and sort of. And when they do that, though, it's very much on the nose, and kind of, it's not subtle at all. There's not a lot of craft to what's being done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could talk about it for way longer than I want to.
No, but you know what? I think this is one of those films that probably should have been directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Because it would have been really, or Steven Soderbergh, it would have been really touching and amazing and moving, and might have like changed people's minds.
Yeah.
And but enough of that. We're going to talk about streaming. What can you watch at home, in your living room, and we'll be right back.
HCC ha estado para ti, accesible y enfocado en tus éxitos. Más carreras, formación avanzada, aprendizaje global en línea. Nuevo nombre, misma misión, visión más amplia. Houston City College. Regístrate en hcc.edu.
Well, welcome back. We cannot talk about films, we cannot talk about anything if we're not talking about streaming. And, Pete, what's your take on streaming? What's dropped lately? What are you excited about?
Well, those are two different questions.
Okay.
What's dropped lately? And I admit I watch all the guys' stuff, but a lot of the new Taylor Sheridan, the Sheridan verse is back in full swing. Tulsa King is back. Mayor of Kingstown is back, and Landman is coming back this month as well. And whatever you think about him, I mean, his stories are basically drives pretty straightforward. Like you'll have a conflict, you'll have a fist fight or a gunfight or whatever, and then you'll jump on to the next cliffhanger. What's funny to me is his deal with Paramount ends in 2028. He's contracted to keep doing his TV shows until then, and then he's jumping over to Universal. So it's odd to me because Paramount really doesn't have anything but him in terms of original content. Like it's all his stuff, and so I think they were trying to put the thumb down on creative control. And if you know anything about Taylor Sheridan, you know he does not like sharing credit or control with anybody else. Ask Kevin Costner. So I'm going to be interested to see A, how he ends all the weird stuff he's doing now, and B, what he comes up with on Universal. But what about you? Yeah, I think you mentioned some stuff that you think deserves a wider look.
Yeah, so let me also just say that like the Taylor Sheridan universe, I feel like it's the same story set over and over again in different eras.
Fair.
But that's just me. Nobody wants this. The new season just dropped.
Yep.
And I hate to say it. The performances are charming, but some of the dialogue is just, dear God, if my students turned some of this in, I would be like, it's a little too on the nose, you might want to go a little different. The performances are great, but is this a story we need to hear? Is this a story we need to see? There's been we've seen some good films come back that have been away for a while. There's some other things that are going away. Everybody's been really excited, was really excited about the last film, the Crown series. So not the Crown, the Downton Abbey. So everybody rewatched that, which is a lot of fun. I'm a little annoyed that nobody loves Chad Powers as much as I'm enjoying it, which I think in terms of like a little humor and a little ridiculousness is not a bad thing. You're making a face. He's making a face, Pammy. Put the camera on him, he's making a face.
The only editorial statement I can make about Chad Powers is my 16-year-old daughter made me take her to Twisters 3 times. She has a Glenn Powell t-shirt.
Okay.
And we already have tickets for The Running Man next weekend, and she has shown no interest whatsoever in Chad Powers. So I don't know how they missed with such an easy market right there. Like she should have been lined up day one to watch this, but had no interest whatsoever in it. I think it's just the idea of stretching the premise out. Like it really seemed like with a lot of these streaming shows, you see this too. I think they just take the idea, what would be a good 90-minute movie, and stretch it out for 7 hours, and half the episodes are filler.
You mean like the Wicked 2 movies from one musical?
Well, I'm in the minority on that because I did not like the first Wicked, and I'm not a fan of the musical either.
I'm a huge fan of the musical, but I'm also like, does it need to be 6 hours long? Probably not.
And to that point, it's front loaded. Like all the Defying Gravity, all that stuff is in the first half.
All the good stuff is in the first half.
What are they doing for another 2 hours?
They're taking our money, and then we're going to go and eat expensive food in a movie theater while we're watching it.
Yeah.
But what about? I think The Chair Company is a genuinely good watch.
I was not a fan of The Office. I don't like that style of that kind of mockumentary thing. I saw the ads for it. I like the cast. And I probably will take a look at it at some point. It's not one of those that's like front of line for me to kind of check out.
I don't know if you noticed, I keep talking about comedy, but I'm going to tell you, even if you didn't like The Office, take a look at it.
Okay. One thing we actually just started watching last night that I think just dropped actually is the new series on Peacock called All Her Fault, and it stars Sarah Shook from Succession and Elle Fanning, and Sarah Shook plays the mother of a 5-year-old boy that's kidnapped. And so it gets very much, sometimes it's a little ham-handed about how it does it, but very much into the whole overworked mother trope and about, the premise it comes off from. She gets a text from a mom who said, hey, your son wants to come on a play date with mine. How's that sound? She's like, fine, she's busy. Turns out it wasn't that mother. It was spoofing a number. Why didn't you check who it was? Why didn't you, all this kind of stuff. So basically kind of backfilling and laying guilt on her for being a mom who works and maybe wants to, get a break. So we watched actually the first 3 episodes of that last night, and to me, again, it's not a comedy, obviously,
no.
But it did have, I think the performances really elevated it, so.
Yeah, and I've seen the first episode of that.
Okay.
But also as a mom, I was a little bit like, this is the manifestation of my absolute worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And my children are 14 and 17, so we're beyond the play date kidnapping. But, I put my 14-year-old in an Uber recently, and held my phone and watched it the entire time like a crazy, like I'm stalking the Uber guy now. Like maybe that's the series. Maybe they can stretch that 90-minute movie into 7 hours. It's just like an endless Uber watch.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
And then I think that, and then one last thing I was thinking of, so Vince Gilligan, who did Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, has a new series that just hit on Apple TV called Pluribus, and it stars Rhea Seehorn, who was in Better Call Saul. She played, can't remember her name, but she was the partner of Bob Odenkirk's Saul. Nobody knows what it's about. Like, I usually get advanced screeners for things that are coming to Apple. I got nothing. Gilligan's played it very tight to the chest, and so I'm very curious to see how Advanced Word's been great, so I'm very curious to see what he's got cooked up for this time.
I know they have it under tight wrapping key. I mean, I guess we can't talk about streaming without talking about Stranger Things is wrapping up.
Oh God, yeah. I was hoping we could not talk about it.
Come on, Pete.
It's been 5 years. Like these kids are all graduated from college or med school by now, and B, does anybody remember there's an upside down and there's a monster and she holds her hands out and does this, but what? You can't take that long. That's something that I think, going back to Taylor Sheridan, that he does right. He churns them out. Maybe they're not of greatest quality, but at least you're not having to rewatch an entire series.
Pete, I hope you have had as much fun in this half hour as I have.
Had a great time.
And I'm so excited as we wrap up our first episode. We want to thank the Rooftop Cinema Club again for allowing us to use their amazing venue. And just a reminder, the holidays are coming up. So come out here. They have some great stuff programmed like Die Hard, National Lampoon's Vacation, and also the always great holiday movie Home Alone. And I want to thank Pete from the Houston Press for joining me, and I want to thank Swamp for giving me the time to do this. And of course, to thank you to HCC and our fantastic filmmaking program, where I'm also a teacher. Enrollment is open now. We're registering all the time, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.